Okay, today we will be talking about why the Vancouver Canucks need to draft Gavin McKenna. Now, ever since the World Juniors, there's been more or less a consensus top two, which has been Ivar Stenberg and Gavin McKenna. It seems as if Stenberg has now overtaken Gavin McKenna for that first overall selection, and it's with good reason because Gavin McKenna has looked sluggish in his first half of his NCAA season. And Ivar Stenberg has been producing at maybe the greatest and most productive pace by an 18-year-old in the SHL. He is on pace to beat Henrik and Daniel Sedin in both goals and points. And then, after the World Juniors, Gavin McKenna starts scoring. He just starts scoring, and then the federal and felony charges happen. And then everyone looks at it and says, okay, maybe it's going to hurt him a bit. And then he comes back with a 8-point game, 10-point weekend, and in his last 5 games, he has 14 points. In his last 10 games, 24 points, including 9 goals and 15 assists. And if you look at him, he is such a smart player, and the way he passes the puck. I mean, he had a 7-assist game. That is a Big Ten record. So you can look at that and you can say, oh, he's a really good passer, but can he score? And you look at his last 10 games and he has 9 goals. You saw the game after the 8-point game where he had an overtime winner where he just drove right past the player, deked his ankles off. And now you look at that guy and you're like, okay, so he can be a game changer for you. And then you look at the Canucks, who played their first game after the Olympic break yesterday against the Jets. And they just looked slow. They looked like no one had any will to score or any will to play make. And now I just feel like Stenberg can't drive the play as much as Gavin McKenna can. And it's not just about driving play, it's about creating for other players. It's about trying to have that X factor on your team. And if you look at Gavin McKenna, although Stenberg is having this historic season currently, we forget about how historic Gavin McKenna's seasons were. If we look at last year, he in the WHL, he had the 3rd highest point per game pace. Right? The only player above him in the last 10 years was Connor Bedard. And you look at how good Connor Bedard has been. And now you look in the NCAA, he is on pace to outscore Macklin Celebrini. And you see how good Macklin Celebrini was and is currently. So if you want that X factor in your game, in your team, you don't pass up on a generational talent, or not generational, because we throw that word around a lot. But now looking at him, looking at how he's scoring, it's kind of hard not to call him generational. And if you want that type of player, you don't go and pick a safe option in Stenberg. Rather, you should take that risk, even if it means there's a risk, because there's always a risk. But if you have that first overall pick and you want to make a selection that is going to change your team and the trajectory of your team for the next 5, 10, 15 years, you have to pick Gavin McKenna. And that is why I want the Vancouver Canucks to pick Gavin McKenna, because he is the only player in this draft that is going to single-handedly change the trajectory of your franchise 180 degrees. Now, you guys can tell me in the comments if you think the Canucks should take Gavin McKenna or Ivan Stenberg or someone else. They've been looking at centermen. There's Keenan Verhoff, who's a defenseman. For all we know, the Vancouver Canucks should draft first overall, but they could fall to 2nd or 3rd. Now, you guys tell me who you want the Canucks to pick. Thank you for watching.